Everyone standing on your feet. With great shouts of praise, let's put our hands together and welcome, in their first live recording, Bishop Derek Triplett and the Hope Fellowship Chorale.
Come on, put your hands together. Come on, come on. Y'all real stiff. Come on.
Looking for those who love him, gonna party in his name.
Count me in, count me in, count me in.
Everybody's gotta praise him. I hope you're not ashamed.
I'm not ashamed to praise him.
Come on, do ya?
Do you really love to praise the Lord? Do you really love to praise the Lord? Then praise the Lord, praise the Lord. If you really love to praise the
Come
Lord.
on, let's bless him. Now you got to do what we tell you. Come on.
Everybody dance.
Come on, lift.
Lift your voice.
Wave.
Wave your hands.
Come on.
Rejoice in the Lord.
Lift your voice.
Lift your voice.
Come on, wave your hand.
Wave your
I
hands.
can't hear y'all. Come on. Everybody dance. Come on, lift.
Lift your voice.
Wave.
Wave your hands. Rejoice in the Lord.
Come on.
Lift your voice.
I need to know that y'all out here.
Wave your hands.
Come on, everybody scream. Now this is Hope Fellowship Church. I know y'all know how to bless the Lord. I need y'all to help me in here. I need everybody. Come on, family.
If you really love to bless the Lord, say. If you really love to praise the Lord, say. If you really love to lift him up, say. If you really love to praise his name, say. If you bless him at all times, will you say? If you really love him with all your heart, say. If you help me do your dance, would you say? If you help me bless his name, won't you say? Praise in my mouth,
Praise in my mouth.
sing and shout.
I sing and shout.
I love to praise,
I love to praise.
I love to
I
praise.
love to praise.
Praise in my
Praise
mouth,
in my
I
mouth.
sing and shout.
I sing and
I
shout.
love to praise,
I love to praise.
I love to praise.
I love to praise in my mouth.
Come on, we got to bless
I
him.
sing and shout.
We'll bless the Lord at all times. His praise will continually be in our mouth. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. I want to bless him. You got to bless him. Come on.
I love to praise in my mouth. I sing and shout.
Do you love it?
I love to
I need to see you.
I love to
Do you dance
praise in my mouth.
in the aisles,
I sing and
in
shout.
your car?
I love to
Bless his name.
love
Come on.
praise in my mouth.
Come on, make some noise in here. I don't want that fake praise. I want some real praise in here. Come on, bless his name. Come on. This one you can get your step on. Come on. Come on. Let me hear you say something in here. I need some Hope Fellowship Church in here. Hallelujah.
We're going to ask you now to receive Bishop Derek T. Triplett as he comes in for Sister Session, Ladies First.
Welcome, 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 welcome. Y'all can be seated. Y'all can be seated. Thank you for being here. I'm amazed that so many people are here, and I'm grateful and thankful on this Saturday afternoon. It is Saturday, right? Yes. All my days are running together. It's been crazy. Couple things really quick. I am in a situation where I'm walking in something new. You know, full-time pastor for 27 years. What is it there? 27. Yeah, they know better than me. And so had to do some things a little differently at the will of the Lord. And so we want to make sure that I'm walking in what I'm supposed to walk in. And one of the things that we've got to walk in is the opportunity to speak to you. The opportunity to speak to you. And so we're going to do that. Listen, one of the things that we need to understand from jump is what a man communicates with you and what he says to you and the information that he gives you and how he talks to you is contingent upon how he thinks he's going to relate to you. What a man tells you, how he relates to you, what he says to you, the information that he gives you is contingent upon how he thinks he's going to relate to you. If he thinks he's going to relate to you romantically, then there's certain information he's not going to give you. There's certain truth he's not going to tell you, even if that truth is about you. He's not going to tell you because he wants to stay in good with you. So there's certain things that he may not tell you. I relate to you two ways today. For most of you, I relate to you as a brother. For some, I will relate to you as a father. So as a brother or a father, the things that I will say, I don't have to a certain degree, worry about not giving you the right information because I have nothing to gain because I'm just here for you. Does that make sense? So as a brother or a father, I can just kind of help you and talk some truth to you and stuff that you will be able to take and stuff that you'll be able to give and live with. And so that's what we're going to do today. Now, with that in mind, because I don't have to worry about how you're going to feel about me, because I ain't going home with none of y'all. So I may say some things that hopefully that you need to hear, but that may at first rub you a little wrong, but your boy is just trying to help you. Okay? We're just trying to help you. So women are interesting, especially urban women. It seems like every other year or every few years, y'all get a new anthem. You know, there's some song that's released that becomes the female anthem, and you all just lock in to that song. We got a lot of different age groups here, and so, but the anthems, I mean, I heard one the other day, heard it all before. And I remember when y'all were walking around singing that, but your lies ain't working now. Lies ain't working. I know we're in church, but, you know, that was one of y'all's anthems. That was one. Another one of you all's anthems was the Beyonce song, you know, To the Left, You Must Not Know About Me. I mean, I was so sick of that song, I didn't know what to do. You must, you know, y'all, you know, everybody was to the left, to the left, to the left. One that really got on my nerves, that really got on my nerves was that Fantasia song. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Or something, you know, and just it's too much. It was just too much. It was just too much. And so it got kind of crazy, but I want to go back. Is this song still an anthem for y'all? Is this one still an anthem for y'all? See, this side trying to act real saved. This side, they don't care. They don't you know, this side trying to act like y'all only listen to Fred Hammond and this side trying to control themselves so they don't forget that they saved. Okay, all right. I'm glad y'all still relate to that particular song. That's your jam? Okay. I'm glad y'all still relate to that, because this whole concept, I was in trouble. As a matter of fact, I would have paid all of this money and got y'all here and really been in trouble if you all had not related to that song. Because everything that I want to talk about is built on the whole metaphor of a house. Everything that I want to talk about is built on the metaphor of a house. Let's talk about Brick House for a minute. That's cool, and it's affirming, it's congratulatory, it's all of that. Real cool song. Only problem is that we're raising some girls now who believe that their body is their greatest asset. That they're believing that their feminine pulchritude is the best thing that they got going. And as a man, I just want to say to you, that's a mistake. That's a real mistake. No matter how fine you are, no matter how cute you are, no matter what you think you do in the bedroom, no matter none of that, please understand, if that's your greatest asset, you're in trouble. For a couple of reasons. First of all, whatever you got, somebody else got it. Somebody else got it. Here's the other thing, is that you're going to get older. You're going to get older. I'm going to leave that one alone. You're going to get older. But here's the other thing. Let me clue you all in about us. You can get a group of us together, fellas, you can get a group of us together, and just when we think we've seen the finest woman on the planet, somebody comes and erases her. So that cannot be all you have. It can't be your greatest asset. But this whole house thing is the metaphor. It is the metaphor. And I want you to write some things down, because we're going to talk about different categories of women based upon the metaphor of houses. Different categories of women based on the metaphor of house. Here's the first one. First one is the starter woman. Like the starter house. The first one is the starter woman. The starter woman is the woman who continually has new beginnings that don't get finished. And the problem is that the starter woman, for us, the starter woman ends up being the sister who has the misfortune of being connected to an underdeveloped man who is not ready to go the distance, and you end up just being, just like a starter house, a starter woman. He doesn't have the capacity to finish the deal, and some of you know people who have been in those kind of relationships over starter, 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, never finishes. It's a start. It's a starter. It's a starter. Now here is the problem with being a starter woman. One of two things will happen when you are with one of us who does not have the capacity to finish the deal. One of two things will happen. Either one, we will continue to be dysfunctional and immature, and then we will continue to have some successive starter relationships. And so some of them may leave children behind, but it's going to be something that's going to be kind of over in 2 to 3 years. Okay? And you don't want to be the woman who the man keeps starting with you. But here's the other thing. Sometimes we do grow up and get better. And the starter woman has to watch her ex be a better woman, be a better man for some other woman. We finally grow up. We finally get ourselves together. We finally become, now we jacked you up, but we finally get ourselves together, and there's some woman out there now that doesn't know she needs to thank you for the good man that she has. We're going to talk about this. It's some woman out there, because we got better. We finally got our act together. We got better, and he's now the man he always wanted to be. And he may even call you and say, I wish I had been who I am now when we were together. And you end up being the starter woman. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. Yes. Starter woman. Here's to keep yourself from being the starter woman. One of the things that you're going to have to do in your dating process is that you're going to have to be able to pick up on two things. One, watch this: present character and future capacity. Who is he right now? What is his real character? Get past what he bought you. Get past, where he took you. Get past him being able to do. What is his present character? Y'all remember the movie Notorious? And there's a conversation between Faye and Biggie, and Faye asked him the question, are you a good guy trying to be bad? Or are you a bad guy trying to be good? You need to know his character. You need to come out of the clouds and really see what the deal is. But here's the second thing you got to do. You got to make sure that you can look at his capacity. What does he have the ability to do? And his future capacity is tied to his present character. Who I'm going to be in 5 years is tied to who I'm trying to be right now. What is his capacity? What is his capacity? You can keep wanting a nickel to be a quarter all you want. It's gonna be a nickel. You can pray for it to be a quarter. You can put oil on the pillow for it to be a quarter. You can do all of that, but when you take it to the store, the man's gonna say, that's 5 cents. That's all it is. That's 5 cents. And the problem with us is that we're good at being a 5-cent dude with 25-cent talk. And if you fall for the game, and see what ends up happening for people who fall for the game, when he doesn't decide to change, when you finally get up on the game, we got to go get somebody else who doesn't know we are nickel. Does that make sense? So you got to check the things out. Let's go to the next one. Let's just go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. There's the starter woman, and then there is new construction. New construction. That's built from the ground up. Anybody ever built a house from the ground up? New construction. New construction is exciting. Nobody's used it. Nobody's done. You pick everything that you want to pick. You do all of that. But what's the first principle of new construction? It's the foundation. However you construct yourself as a female, you got to start with the foundation. You got to start with the foundation. And identity has to be foundational. Your identity. Your identity. Not your money, not your beauty, your identity. And that's why having a father is really, really important, because having a father helps you to define your identity. You've got somebody that's helping you discover and even tell you who you are so that you know who you are. Because here's the problem. One of the mistakes we make, and even among church people, one of the mistakes we make is we confuse identity with function. Let me give it to you. God made Eve, first woman. God made Eve. He says to Adam, I'm going to make you a prepared helper. That's what the word help meet means, M-E-T-E. I'm going to make you a prepared helper. Watch this. He puts Eve to sleep. He puts Adam to sleep, takes out a rib, presents Adam a woman. Doesn't present him a rib, presents him a woman. Presents him a woman. Whatever God does to Eve while Adam is asleep, Adam doesn't know. Which is one of the reasons why it takes a man really in touch, not just with you, but in touch with God to help figure you out. The reason that we need God to help figure you out because you all are such intricate creations, and we were asleep when he made you. God's got to help Adam with Eve, because Adam does not understand all of the nuances of Eve. And so that's why it's very important, sis, that you get somebody that's in touch with God, because when he is in touch with God, that will help him be in touch with you. Because there will be things that you can't even explain to him, because you all are so complicated in a positive sense. Here's the other thing. Adam doesn't see Eve until God wakes him up. Let me help you, sis. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you dress. He can't see you if he's asleep. He can't see you. You, hey, I'm here, I'm wonderful, I'm fine, I'm this. He's asleep. He can't see you if he's asleep. But Adam has a woman now who has the function of being his helper. Watch this. That's her function. It's not her identity. Yeah. Wow. Part of the problem is that we make our identities our functions. Who are you? If I ask who you are, most times you'll start telling me what you do. I'm a teacher, or I'm a mother, or I'm a this, or I'm that. That's your function. I ask you who you are. And if you don't have a good understanding of who you are, then you leave it to somebody else to guess, or somebody else to tell you what it is. Let me ask you a question. How do you answer the I am question? I am. If somebody says, I am. Do you say I am a mother? Do you say I am a single mother? Do you say I am a teacher? I am a divorce? How do you answer the I am question? Interesting thing about Jesus, he answered the I am question a whole lot of different ways. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. I am the door. I am the good shepherd. He keeps it. Why? Because he had range. You need to be a woman with some range. With some range. You're not just a mother. You're not just a wife. You're not just a Christian. Because the real say, oh, I am a Christian, I am a woman of God. Okay. All right. Okay, whatever that means. Okay. And okay, I'm not going to do that. You need to have some range. What? How limited are you? Your range is how many different rooms you can handle yourself in. Can you handle yourself in the classroom, or are you just cute and dumb? You don't need no education. You can't spell algebra, but you cute. Can you handle yourself in the classroom? Can you handle yourself in the boardroom? Can you handle yourself in the classroom? Can you handle yourself in the boardroom? Can you handle yourself in the living room? And here's what I mean by the living room. When I was little, no matter how many kids and that type of thing, family gatherings, there was going to come a time that the adults were going to retire to the living room. And you as a kid knew, don't even go in there, don't even go in there, because then they were going to start discussing grown-up stuff. And when we were growing up, you couldn't interrupt grown-ups, you stay out of, you didn't have nothing to say when grown-ups were talking. And I know, parents don't do that anymore, but they would go and watch this. They would begin to talk, and that living room was social skills. How do you have any social skills? Can you communicate? Or are you the sis that he doesn't really want to take around his people? Because you're going to embarrass him. But he like you. We just need to stay at home. What if Michelle Obama had been ratchet? Huh? What if she hadn't had any social skills? What if what if she had been at the inauguration popping gum? Huh? What if at the inaugural ball it became obvious that she had never been in a pair of pumps? And I apologize. That's a pet peeve of mine. But to see y'all when y'all walk in and can't walk, that's just that's funny to me. I'm sorry, but that's funny to me. And we're not going to even talk about flats and kitten heels. We're not going to talk about that. It's unnecessary. But social skills. Can you handle yourself in the classroom? Can you handle yourself in the living room? Can you handle yourself in the boardroom? How many rooms can you handle yourself in? That's range. That's range. That's range. Notice I didn't mention bedroom. I didn't mention kitchen. Because I hear those conversations by marginal women. I can burn, and my bedroom game is tight. Okay. What else? What else? Because I can always find somebody to cook. You follow me? What's your range? Because if you don't develop range, you're going to live in the box that your development creates. I don't want to be underdeveloped living in a box. So the first thing you got to get is foundation. What is my identity? What is my identity? It's foundational. It's so critical that if you're going to be new construction. Now, new construction is interesting because it takes time. And the interesting thing about new construction is that it takes time, and there's a process, and there's a blueprint, and nobody just says, just put that over there. No, somebody's working on a blueprint. And if you've ever built a house or watched how homes being built, every day you go back, there's something new. Yep. You see the progress, which means that I'm not who I'm going to be, but I'm building on it. Yeah. I'm building on it. And watch this. When a house is being built, it's not livable. Amen. Amen. You're trying to move us into a house that ain't ready. Whatever person comes to into your life right now may need a hard hat. Because you got construction going on. Wow. And sometimes and this is not just to the female gender, this is both genders. Sometimes when we shouldn't be in a relationship because of the development and construction that's going on, we can't handle being by ourselves, or we can't handle what being in a relationship does to our esteem. So we take our unfinished self into a relationship and can't discover why it doesn't work. Sometimes we got to wait. There's a process. It's going to take time. It's construction. It's construction. It's going to take time. Which is why I encourage those of you who have daughters, I encourage that you build your daughter's identity, your identity needs to become kind of put together before you start trying to get in relationships. Because if your identity and esteem are not solid before you start getting in relationships, then the relationships will develop and the relationships will determine your esteem. And then you will feel better about yourself when you're in one and worse about yourself when you're not. Better. I'm going to be doing something really, and my team laughs at me because my brain is kind of different. But one of the things that I'm mentally working on, I told one of my team members the other day, is that this whole dynamic that people go through between Christmas Eve and Valentine's Day.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So there are people who they see all of the proposals that are happening on Christmas Eve, and then they see all the proposals that happen on Valentine's Day. And then if relationships determine your esteem, then you are jacked up if you are not in a good one between Christmas and Valentine's Day.
Yep. That's good.
Your esteem is shot if relationships determine your esteem. You got to decide who you are before you get in a relationship. Does that make sense? Yes. You got to decide who you are before you get in a relationship. Here's the other one. I don't want to belabor that point. Newly remodeled. I told you my mind is a little different. Newly remodeled. Remodeling is an interesting thing. Remodeling is an interesting thing. When you remodel something, that means that you see its potential, but it needs some work. When you remodel a home, you could have destroyed it, but you said there's something here that's worth keeping and it just needs some work. But remodeling is also a decision. Remodeling doesn't happen by accident. If you're going to remodel yourself, sis, it's not going to happen by accident. It's going to be a decision that you make. Remodeling, I want to become a different girl. I want to become a different woman. It's a decision that I make. It is a decision. And remodeling is expensive. Do you want to pay the price to be the better you? Yes. That price might be education. That price might be leaving some knuckleheads alone. That price might be a greater commitment to your spirituality, whatever. It is a decision, and it's going to cost you. Remodeling is expensive. It's expensive. Watch this. Notice I talk about remodeling, not just a new paint job. Okay? New car, paint job. New wardrobe, paint job. New attitude, new do, paint job. Paint job. Now, when are we going to do the real work? When are we going to do the real work? Change cities, paint job. Change churches, paint job. You're just trying to get away from the people who know you. So you can pretend to be somebody else. You know, everybody wants that blank slate. It's expensive. It's expensive. It's expensive. But watch this. Remodeling, and I want to read this one very clear. Remodeling takes a picture, a plan, and a process. When you decide to remodel, you have a picture of what it's going to look like. Okay, some of you have that eye. You can walk into a room and say, if I do this to this and do that to that and put this over there and add this, it's going to change this whole room. I don't have that eye. I don't have that eye. I just know if it's bad or good after it's done. Okay, but some of you have that eye. There's a picture. What is the picture that you're trying to be? And that's the ridiculous thing about resolutions and all that kind of stuff, because they're not particular enough. I want to be better. What does that mean? What does better mean? Define better. What's the picture? What's the picture? But then also remodeling has a plan. There's a blueprint. And then there's a process. But watch this. Here's the fourth one. It's personnel. Who you let work on you will affect the outcome. Who you let remodel you. How many of you have hired the wrong people? And your house ended up jacked up, or your landscaping, and you had to pay double and get it fixed and all of that. Be very careful in the remodeling process. But here is the issue also with remodeling is sometimes when you change, you will have people who keep talking to the old you.
Jesus. My Jesus.
Does that make sense? It's like you've gone through your process of remodeling and transformation, and you've worked on yourself, and then now all of a sudden he or she keeps talking to the old you. Because sometimes the old you is all they want, because the old you is what's best for them. The new you is what's best for you, but the old you is what's best for them. And then they want to condemn you for getting better. Oh, you changed. You ain't the same girl you used to be. And come on. You ain't the same girl you used to be. I thought you were this. I ain't. You know. I'm a former pastor, so let me throw this one in there. And since you've been going down to that church, I don't know. Listening to that preacher. Okay? They want to keep talking to the old you. They want to keep talking to the old you. And sometimes people who are unwilling to shift, sometimes have to be dismissed. That's not me anymore. That was me. Watch this. And when people don't want you to shift, they will tell you about who you used to be in order to make you feel bad about who you used to be. Watch this. So you can keep being who you used to be. I don't know why you're trying to act up, because I remember this and I remember that, and remember when you did this, and remember when you did that, and we used to do this, and don't try to be a church girl now. We used to do this and we used to do that, and now you so holy now. We remember when we did this and remember when we did that. They want to keep talking to the old you because the old you benefits them. And you will have to decide if you keep acting in your remodeled state. So when you get that text at 3 a.m., then you have to respond, wrong person. Same number, different person. Same number, wrong person. That person doesn't answer those texts anymore. And a lot of people won't be able to handle that. Does this make sense? Yes. You're going to have to decide who can roll with you as you remodel. Because guess what? It's bad to go through the investment and then somebody wants to treat you like you haven't put the investment in. Here's the next one. Let me get off that one. We got to roll. Low income housing.
Wow. You're killing us.
Low income housing. Interesting thing. Low income housing is necessary, but it's usually a starter. You're really not supposed to stay in low income housing. You're not supposed to be in low income housing for generations. One of the problems of low income housing is that you can't control the neighborhood. So there's always going to be all kind of crazy stuff going on around you in low-income housing. When you decide to be low-income housing, you will not be able to control the negativity and the dysfunction that's around you because you're sitting in the middle of it. You're sitting in the middle of it. It's necessary, but it's not supposed to be permanent. At some point, you're not supposed to be living a dangerous life. Let me say that again, sis. At some point, you are not supposed to be living a dangerous life. Physically dangerous, emotionally dangerous, financially dangerous. At some point, you're not supposed to be living a dangerous life. That's low-income housing. And when somebody is consistently putting you in danger, they're treating you like low-income housing. Okay? No matter how much you can buy with the money that he illegally brings in, you still have the danger of something going wrong. And so we gotta let our daughters stop falling in love with drug boys. That's low-income housing. That's dangerous. You can't control. Low-income housing usually have bad schools connected to it. You can't control it. You gotta move. You gotta move. You don't want to be low-income housing. Certain elements hang out with low-income housing. Let me ask the question. What is the profile of the people, those of you who are not married, what is the profile of the dudes you keep dating? Is the dude you keep dating the kind of guy who frequents low-income housing?
Come on through.
I like thugs. Okay. Okay. It's low-income housing. Okay. You can't control the neighborhood. And usually, watch this, usually low-income housing ends up being unsafe for your kids. Yes. So are the people that you're in relationship with continually unsafe for your kids? Now, there is this portion of low-income housing. I know it all because I lived in it all at some point in my life. But you know, how do I want to put this? Are you Section 8?
Jesus. You killing it, Lord.
Are you Section 8? You're not exactly, you don't necessarily have to be low-income housing, but you are on discount.
That's it.
So can you be middle-class income housing, but people keep getting you on discount? Because your education and your money changed your status, but it didn't change who you are on the inside. so people can peep out that I can get her on discount. Or because your identity wasn't settled before you started getting in relationships, then people know they can get you on discount. One of the scariest movies, there's certain movies, you know, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen as a black man, and I set my son Donovan, there's certain movies I sat down with my son and we watched because I wanted him to understand certain things. And so we watched Boomerang. I said, you understand what's going on here? You know, I wanted him to understand that y'all have more game than us. Okay? So we sat down, we watched Boomerang. We were in the movies watching, what's the James Bond movie where they play poker and that type of thing. And so there's a scene in that movie, where James is in his villa in the Bahamas with the wife of the person he's chasing. And so they're fully clothed. We're in church. They're fully clothed. They ain't started nothing yet, but she's laying on top of him and they're kissing, and her phone rings and it's her husband. And so when the phone rings, he says to her, I've got to fly to Miami, and so I won't be. She says, oh, I guess another night without you. And then she hangs up the phone, and then she looks at James and says, I guess we got all night. And my son was about 11 when it came out, and I hit Donovan and I said, don't you ever forget what you just saw. Don't you ever forget what you just saw. And so, because here's what would happen. Let's reverse the gender. Let's say the guy is the girl and his phone rings. He's panicking. Come on. He's panicking. He's panicking. He answers the phone. He's talking fast. He's breathing hard. Come on. What you need? Something wrong? And so I told Donovan, watch this. They are slicker than us. But here's the other thing. Watch this. The other movie that I thought was very, very scary was Thin Line Between Love and Hate. How does Brooke Martin's character get this rich woman? Because she was Section 8. She was so messed up on the inside that no matter how much money she had, he says, I got to go to the club and work. She says, I'll buy you a club. She's so messed up on the inside that he keeps getting. Now, I'm not saying everything is about money and everything is about education, because that doesn't necessarily make a person a man quality or not quality. But look who keeps getting a step to you. Look who keeps getting a step to you. I'm not saying you're low income. I'm saying that y'all know some people who's Section 8. None of y'all. It's low income thing, but there's another category of low income. It's the projects. It's the projects. You don't want to be the projects. Watch this. Anybody can live there. Anybody can live there. Everybody lives there. You don't want to be a project. And the problem with the metaphor is that you can be making six figures, wearing red bottoms, and still be project. Anybody can live there. Anybody. Other problem with project is projects, people are always trying to get out of them. But yet they're always visiting them. You don't want to live in the projects, but you do visit the projects every now and then. Even our wealthiest men, and they still visit the projects. They make millions of dollars, but they still visit the projects. I don't want you to be a starter. I'm your brother. I'm your father. I don't want you to be a starter. I don't want you to be low income. I sure don't want you to be projects. I don't want you to be Section 8. Here's the last category I want to deal with. It's the dream house.
My God. My God.
It's the dream house. You are your own dream house. What do you want to see? What's the dream woman you want to be? Because in many cases, you're trained to become the woman of a man's dreams.
That's good. That's good.
Have you had any dreams about yourself? When you see the best you can be, what does that look like? The best woman you can be, the dream woman, what does that look like? And I don't have time today, and maybe we'll do this in a different session, but many of you are never going to get to even start the process of becoming your dream woman until somebody pulls you out of your nightmares. And you need somebody to help you get out of your nightmares. And that's why you need a brother. That's why you need a father. That's why you need somebody that's going to tell you the truth. Because there may be some men in your life that don't want to get you out of your nightmares because they only want to see you at night. But I want you to start picturing, what's the dream you? What does that look like? Scripture says, Ephesians chapter 3, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly all we can ask or think. That word think is better rendered imagine. What do you imagine about yourself? If there is no imagination, you hinder your blessing. Because if God can top your imagination, then whatever level your imagination stops, all he has to do is top that, and he's done what he said he was going to do. Y'all ain't hearing me. I'm sorry. I'm really trying not to be preachy.
Come on.
Okay. If you can imagine and dream about who you want to be, what do you see as your best self, sis?
Yes.
What do you see? Have you given up dreams about yourself? Are you locked into who you've been to the point that you no longer can think out of that box? Do you want to increase your range? I need you today. I sent out flyers and emails and called in people so that I could get you here today to dream about yourself. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what you've done. I don't care how long you've been the way you are. Today, I need you to dream about yourself. I need you to close your eyes and begin to put together what the best you looks like. What the best you. Some of you are afraid to do it because you gave up on you a long time ago. That's why you're dysfunctionally raising your kids, because you're putting pressure on your kids to be something you've decided not to be. And you're trying to live vicariously through your children, and it ain't fair. They were not put on this earth to achieve your dreams. They were put on this earth for you to help them with theirs. I need you to close your eyes. And I need you to begin to see what the dream you looks like. One of the things that's happening right now is your doubt is kicking in. And doubt and dreams don't go together well. And the enemy wants you to not imagine, because what you cannot imagine, God can't bless you with in this dimension. There are certain blessings that you're only going to get if you participate. God's not going to drop this one on you. This one you're going to have to participate. I need you to dream. Some of you are struggling with the doubt. Keep your eyes closed. Some of you are struggling with the doubt. Some of you are struggling with the how. I need you to not worry about how it's going to be done. This is not about how. Huh? When you close your eyes at night, your dreams don't come with a manual. They just come. And I need you to begin to see. Here's the other problem that some of you are having. That the dream you clashes with who you've allowed yourself to become. Sometimes something has to be broken in order for something else to be built. I need you to dream. What do you see? What do you see? What kind of confidence do you see? What kind of heart do you see? What kind of character do you see? What kind of education do you see? What kind of style do you see? What kind of lifestyle do you see? What kind of income do you see? What kind of spirituality do you see? What kind of partner do you see yourself being? What kind of mom do you see yourself being? What do you see? Because whatever you see, Scripture says that God is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all of that. That God is able to take your dream and blow it out the water. I need you to be. I need you to decide to be the woman of your own dreams. Father, I thank you and I bless you for the opportunity to hopefully speak into the hearts and minds of these my sisters. And I pray that they will become what they dream of being. My final prayer, God, is that your word says that if we delight in you, you will give us the desires of our heart. It does not mean that you will give us what we desire. It actually means that you will give us the actual desire. So put in our hearts that which you want to do, so that we can only ask you for that you already wanted to do anyway. We love you now. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 Amen.